Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Courtroom Files Live. Yesterday started out like a lion with all of the courts just packed with people. Today is much more like a lamb. It's a little quiet out there at the moment, but we're going to start with Judge Jason Elmore in Wexford County, Michigan.
Our recollection.
I can briefly outline the circumstances. They're not difficult.
Oh, my thunder.
Yeah.
Didn't we, wasn't there a bond violation, a probation violation?
There is, because he's on probation in Misaki.
Okay.
And that remains in the air.
So
we communicated with them and they said, depending on what you rule, they may even.
Well, is he on probation and for circuit court over there?
I believe so.
Yeah. So
Yes.
should I be calling both cases?
I don't suppose that would hurt anything.
Well,
Although we don't have a Misaki prosecutor.
We don't have the file.
and we don't have who?
The file.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have anything.
Well,
We're prepared to
right.
deal with that contingency anyway.
okay. Because I think, didn't I revoke the bond, remand him to custody on the
Did.
PV?
Well,
So
and
whatever.
you did here as well.
Yeah, but I'm saying, all right, Mr. Harrison, why don't you go ahead and tell them what's going on?
So I guess the nomenclature that you're looking for, judges, we're actually asking you to reinstate bond
Yeah, but
as a PR.
right. So hold on. We're here for the 2025 file, and it's my understanding he entered a plea
Mhm.
in that case, correct? And we did that here last week.
Yep, it was about a week ago.
And then that also must have resulted in a probation violation for the Misaki case.
It has.
All right.
So
and,
that's nailed down. They're just awaiting sentencing, much like we are.
and you said something that confused me. So is he also on probation in this county, or is it just the two files? Two files.
It's just the two files. Yeah,
Copy
I'm
that.
sorry.
It's all right. I got it. We're good. All right. So now you're seeking a modification of bond in this file.
Indeed.
And if I rule on it in the way that you're asking, I still have to rule on the
Misaki.
bond in Misaki County. So it seems a bit premature. And as we all know, I'm not in the office next week and I leave today by 3:30. So,
We are anticipating obtaining a stipulation
okay.
from the prosecution in
All right.
Misaki County as to that other case. That's
Okay.
why
All right. So
we're happy to have this early in the morning, so we've got all day to get that done.
sounds great. All right. I just wanted to make sure that we were
Yep.
on using our time efficiently. Because I
And-
didn't want Doge to come down on us.
I have to say that Sierra reminded me of all of that Wednesday, so we planned ahead.
All right, good. All right. So now that we've covered all that, make your pitch.
That's Sierra Golden, by the way.
Yeah.
My pitch is quite straightforward. As the court knows, Mr. Markham has a serious record. He has a multitude of
I know.
offenses that all involve substance abuse. One element that has been missing is his successful participation in treatment.
Has he had treatment in the, I'm sure he has. If I recall, he was at one time a treatment provider or counselor of some sort. And I know he's had multiple convictions. I know he's had prison stints in the
Yeah.
past.
Well, and I'll bottom line it for you here. Obviously, it's no secret to anyone in the room. He's going to be 10 to 28 on this file.
Yeah, it's
Because
I would imagine.
so in all reality, he's in a straddle cell that could very well earn him another short prison sentence. That notwithstanding, I want and he wants him, whatever process, whatever is the next step in this journey, he wants to be able to do that with the assurance that he has the tools to maintain his sobriety. I know that there is programming involved in the prison. I know also that Mr. Markham has participated in that. So we think he needs another level of intervention here. I think right now is the perfect time to do it because it would easily slot in before the sentencing in this case. If we had to adjourn it a week or two, no big deal. And we could get him, whatever occurs, we're not believing that a prison sentence is a foregone conclusion, but the reality would suggest that it was likely in this case. But we want him to be able to take with him into prison the fact that he's completed a rehab this recently. I think it's important for his mindset in that regard as well.
All right, let me go back to my original question, and that is looking to have a better idea of what he has had. It would be beneficial for the court to have his probation officer available and or the most recent PSI. Certainly that PSI would not cover what kind of treatment he's had since the last release from confinement. I know he had the case over Missaukee County. I remember images of the case had something to do with operating in a car and having something inside the car. And did I give him jail or did he get, well, no, obviously if he's on probation, yes, I gave him jail, sorry.
And I don't know if that sentencing has been completed yet because of the.
Well, he's still on probation, so he had sentences.
The interposition of this case on top of it. Is this common when there's new charges that also create a PV?
I understand. Well, I'm pausing and turning to Ms. Carey because I really would like to have that information. Is I want to know what is different this time, and I want to know what he's had. Now, by the way, I have seen defendants obviously get up to this level and have never had an inpatient program, surprisingly enough. And I don't think one stint of inpatient is a magic pill and solves a substance use disorder. I'm not that silly.
I would just make a blanket statement, Your Honor, irrespective of his former attempts at obtaining sobriety. The one thing that I see that's the major difference is this time is his state of mind and his desire to get clean and stay clean that I can honestly say was lacking in prior opportunities, unfortunately.
Well, Ms. Carey, I'll turn it over to you. I didn't want to ignore you. No, go ahead.
So he is scheduled for sentencing on April 14th. Frankly, the people are just flat out opposed to releasing him to treatment at this time. He pled to possession of meth and possession of cocaine as a habitual offender second. His prior history back to 2017, he has a delivery manufacturer of cocaine, a delivery manufacturer of marijuana, both as second offenders. And what I don't have is what the first conviction was. So I don't think that we have a complete criminal history.
Yeah.
He also had a maintaining a drug house second in 2022, disorderly domestic violence, possession of methamphetamine again, and then it goes back to 2002. So I think there's a gap in the information that we have. So I'm not sure. I did estimate the guidelines at 10 to 28 based on the information that we have, but I think
was that as a second sub or was that as a
have two?
Have two.
Right.
And so, but I think we're missing some information.
Yeah.
I think there's some convictions that we are missing.
Well,
he had methamphetamine, cocaine, psilocybin, which wasn't charged because we didn't have it tested at that time.
Tell me a little bit more about that in the new case, the 2025 case. Give me a description of what it was, what amount, for instance, is this a residue case? Is it a dime bag? Is it,
Just to cut in real quick, good morning again, everybody. Welcome to the Courtroom Files Live. It is a very quiet morning so far out there. I've got eyes on 9 different feeds at the moment, and pretty much everybody is quiet. But this is Judge Jason Elmore. He is out of Wexford County, Michigan, so we'll ride with him. Again, we'll wait to see if some of these other courts get into action. I'm also waiting for Judge Fleischer to see if he comes online, so just hang tight. This is a good judge. He's good to watch.
Another had a gram of cocaine, a gram of heroin, 32 psilocybin, or 32 grams of psilocybin, a scale, cotton swabs, another 10, looks like psilocybin, another 1 psilocybin. So
and where was all this located? Was this a
was a
probation or a traffic stop?
traffic stop. He was pulled over on River Street from Mitchell Street, and it was all in his vehicle. He was the only occupant of that vehicle.
That's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
That's a rolling drugstore.
So I don't know what his prior things are with rehab. I think it's interesting that he didn't have successful participation is what the term used by the defense was. Well, you have to participate and you have to try. And so that term kind of.
And I acknowledge that sometimes people, it takes.
I didn't mean to load up the term necessarily. What I meant was, obviously, there was some lack of success in whatever former treatment he's had.
Obviously.
That's what I meant.
And I understand.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Miss Carey.
So frankly, this close to sentencing, just don't feel like he's a good candidate for release at this time. These were serious, and he did so while he was already on probation. So I think if we did have a PSI, which I don't, he's had this opportunity before. I know sometimes it takes more than one, but those opportunities will still be available to him after sentencing. Thank you.
One second here. Ooh, we got a lot to do this morning. Mr. Harrison, what is your afternoon like today?
Wide open, there are no arraignments.
And mine is not. I have a preliminary exam.
Oh, that's right.
All right, well, that's Mr. Ken. What time's your prelims begin?
2.
All right.
The file is set for a hearing on April 7th. First Monday.
So, yeah, 7th would be I come back on the 31st, so it's the following week.
Oh, but yeah, because
I'm looking here. I see that we've got some potentially tight, but some potential availability at like 1:15.
Here.
I'm sorry?
If we're done here.
Yeah, if we're done with our morning. Is Mr. Carnes involved in your prelim or whatever today? Sorry.
No, he's not.
Yeah. The reason I'm thinking is I want to look at the PSI. That's what I want. If I had it right here, I could look at it and answer this motion right now. So get Mr. Could we be here today at 1 o'clock?
We can. I mean, I guess in the alternative.
Okay. Madam Clerk, what's the jail? I don't. Is there a correction officer in the background there?
Yes, Judge.
Corrections officer. Is there anything that goes on at 1 o'clock there at the jail? Like, would I be interfering with chow?
No, sir, we're finished by then. I don't think we have any arraignments as of right now, so 1 o'clock shouldn't be an issue.
All right. adjourn this to 1 o'clock today. Maybe the corrections officer can just give a hint to the jail administration, but I'll, of course, I'll have my staff to take care of that. Again, the reason for wanting to do this is to take a look at what he's had. Now, I have allowed people with extensive records to go do a program. And so
Okay.
I'm thinking about it. I'm not shutting it down, but I do want to see what his PSI says. And I'm also going to see if I can get his PO online today. Mr. Markham, who is your PO over in Lake City? Is it Luke? Or-
Luke, yes.
All right, I'll try to get Luke on Zoom with us today as well. I want to know how else, what else is he done since he's been on probation. Was this a first PV? I don't, stuff like that. So I want to have a little bit more information about what he has done in the past, and so forth. All right. Thank you very much for your patience as I walk through all that. We'll be back today on the record here at 1300. Thank you. We're adjourned. All right. Do you want me to tell Jody to arrange that, Nicole, or?
I sent her an email.
All right, good, thanks. All right, I'm just gonna hold on to that file. and Let's go ahead and start moving down the line. We have next, we need Miss Volker. Got Trina in the back?
Can you see if you can grab this, Mr. Champion? Your
Yep.
honor? Is Darren also today? Yes.
Yep, you want to do him first? Yeah. Hey, Jeff, Mr. Harrison?
Yeah.
But he's not on till later, and I don't see him here in the courtroom. We're gonna hold off on Miss Volker and the waves, and we're going to wait and bring her in after Mr. Root whenever he shows up. All right, so officer, I'm sorry, I forgot. We're gonna Ms. Volker, we're gonna postpone handling your file until we handle the co-defendant file. And I don't think he's here, or he might be, but he's speaking with his counsel. So.
Does that leave us with Mr. Seibel?
Let's see here. Well, I don't see Mr. Hartel here.
I am Mr. Hertel.
Wow. All right. You've got a couple people here in the courtroom. Maybe I can get rid of them first. When I say get rid of them, I mean that in an appropriate professional manner. All right.
So as Judge Elmore figures out who he's going to get rid of, let me just update you all. Again, I've got my eyes on 9 different courtrooms. Judge Shackelford's is empty. Judge Simpson is in recess. A couple other courtrooms are just empty at the moment. People are just milling about in Judge Boyd's courtroom. So it's a really odd start to the morning. Usually Fridays are busier than what we're seeing, and Judge Fleischer's not come online yet. So let's just hang with Judge Elmore. He's the best show in town at the moment, and if something else comes up, just that quick, looks like Judge Fleischer's coming online. So let me get him prepped, and we'll go over there in just a second.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Mr. Carnes right there.
No, never mind.
Musical chairs. I had no idea. All right, Josh.
What file did you want to
I do. You ready?
I'm ready.
Joshua Hamilton.
Yeah.
2513995. All right. We're taking up next the case of people in the state of Michigan versus Joshua Hamilton. This is case number 25-13995FH. Appearances, gentlemen.
Nate Carnes on behalf of the people.
And I'm Jeff Harrison. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Hamilton. He has joined me at the table.
Okay, let's go over to Judge Fleischer. He's usually very busy on Fridays. They do a lot of arraignments. He's got a jacket today that should hide stains better. If you were watching yesterday, he spilled all over himself. He had kind of a baby blue jacket that he destroyed. And we have actually a short on the channel where we show that. So check that out after the live stream if you'd like. Let's see what's going on with Judge.
Good morning. Hi, Mr. Stewart. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday as well.
You're Robert Ramsey.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramsey, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail because of the high blow. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 14th, 2025, officers observed a 2007 gray Toyota Solara traveling at 100 miles per hour in the 65 miles per hour zone. Officers caught up to the vehicle and conducted a traffic stop and made contact with the defendant, the driver, and observed an open bottle of whiskey in the front passenger area. The defendant admitted to having a few swigs of that whiskey. The officer observed slurred speech, confused demeanor. SFSTs were conducted. It was a 6 out of 6. Walk and turn, a 6 out of 8. Sorry, 6 out of 6 on the HDN, 6 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 2 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The defendant consented to breath, which came back to a 0.199 and a 0.208.
Did you say field sobriety tests were done or no?
Yes, they were.
Okay, I missed it. So
I'm
the
sorry.
Zoned out.
SFSTs were a 6 out of 6 on the HDN, a 6 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and a 2 out of 4 on the one leg stand.
got it. Okay, and you said, are you telling me that he's consuming alcohol while driving? Mr. Ramsey, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I am now taking away your ability to drive. I am now making that a condition of your bond. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. This is an affidavit that you're going to sign, promising me you're not going to drive. If I find that you do, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I at least request an interlock device rather than a no driving affidavit? That would
He's going
guarantee-
100 and he's allegedly taking swigs. What? No. No driving. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
May I at least make the argument?
Sure.
Sure. So he does have to drive to get to work. I understand the accusations against him. I also believe that there's some falsehoods in the accusations against him, Your Honor. We don't have any videos, we don't have any evidence yet on the case, other than just the DIMS report here. So, like I said, in reference to the alcohol being, guaranteeing the safety of the community, I would ask that the interlock be installed rather than it being a no driving affidavit. As far as the driving quickly, I'm sure that, he won't drive that quickly anymore, and he will swear that he will not speed or do anything else. We can say if he gets a ticket or something like that for speeding, Your Honor, that then we'd, accede to or agree to the no driving affidavit, Your Honor. But I do think the interlock device would fully guarantee the safety of the public in terms of him not being able to drive and then operate the vehicle.
Ready to be honest?
No, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. I'm taking away your privilege to drive for the moment. I don't care. I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
would hope that you recognize it's elementary that you're not to have alcohol in the car while you are driving.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's not absolute. But I want you to understand that this is a privilege. It's not a right. You want a right? Take your happy feet and walk from one place to the other. That's a right. This is a privilege. And if you look on the news, every single day, someone dies in our county from an intoxication, assault, crash, whatever it may be. No. Now, you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. But it is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Stewart. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, ducking, dodging phone calls, you pick up a new case, you know what happens.
Yes, sir.
For now, I'm going to have you come up here, swear touch it, you're not going to drive. I'll get you to Victoria, sign a reset. You will get with Fleischer for your bond conditions, and after that, you're free to go. All right. It's not absolute. After some time, show me some proactivity, and then we can talk.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, sir.
Next is page 8, Lemus, Spanish speaker. Lemus, come on up. Eric?
Yes.
You are Eric Lemus.
Limas. Eric Lemus. Eric Limas.
Mr. Lemus, you're charged with reckless driving. You are facing up to 30 days in jail
Hasta 30 días.
and or a $500 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March fifteenth,
El
twenty
15 de marzo
twenty-five,
del 2025,
officers were working a
oficiales estaban
street
trabajando
racing takeover
en
operation
una operación
at
de la calle
909
de la
Shepherd Drive
909
in
Shepherd
Harris
Drive en
County,
Condado
Texas.
Harris, Texas.
The officer
Los
observed a
oficiales
vehicle
observaron
fail
un
to signal a lane
vehículo que no
change and run a red light while
hizo la,
oncoming traffic was present.
y venía tráfico. I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, the officer
Los
observed the
oficiales observaron
vehicle
un
failed to
vehículo que
signal a
no
lane
puso su
change
señal para cambiar
and
el
run a
carril
red
y se
light
pasó una luz roja
with oncoming
con
traffic.
tráfico que venía en su contra.
The vehicle then
El vehículo
continued
entonces
to weave
continuó
between lanes
a pasar entre los carriles
at speeds
pasar de un
exceeding
carril a otro
60 miles per hour
a las velocidades de hasta
in a
60
35
millas
miles per
por
hour
hora
zone.
en una zona de 35 millas por hora.
The passenger was
El pasajero
seen
se
hanging
vio
out of the window
por la ventana, la ventanilla,
while the vehicle was in
mientras el
motion.
vehículo estaba en marcha.
A traffic stop was
Se hizo
initiated.
un alto.
The defendant denied his
El tráfico,
actions and the
perdón, el
officer
acusador negó sus acciones al
the officer
oficial. El
informed him
oficial
that
le
they would be on
informó
camera.
que estaban en cámara.
Officer informed what?
El
The
oficial
defendant
observó
that they would
que
be on camera,
el
the dash
acusado
cam.
estaba
Okay, so
grabado en
just pulls him
cámara.
out. Does he ask for a license, insurance, anything like that? Just pulls him out and arrests him?
At that point, they did,
En ese
I believe they
momento,
arrested him for
creo que lo
reckless driving.
arrestaron por manejo imprudente.
Yes, you. Mr. Lemus, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. Can you run him to see if he has a Texas driver's license, please?
He does not have a
Pregunta si tiene licencia de manejar, no tiene licencia.
Mr. Lemus,
de Limas.
if you do not have a Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name, then you are
Seguro,
not allowed to drive.
permite manejar.
That is a condition of your bond. If I find that you violate these conditions, I will put you in jail. I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you because they sweep it on a daily basis, they will put an immigration detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until this case is over with.
Bajo custodia hasta
And then
que
you get shipped off to immigration. Do you understand?
él lo entiende. Tiene que estar-
Yes or no?
Sí o no, yes.
How old are you, sir?
¿Qué edad tiene usted, señor?
17.
17.
Okay, I will provide you a lawyer today. So what we'll do is I'll have you fill out an application for me for a court-appointed lawyer.
Para una
I'm going to have you sign your reset with Victoria. I will have you take a seat in the jury box while we find you a lawyer. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. Otherwise, I will issue a warrant for your arrest.
arresto.
Okay, please, Deputy Rand, if you don't mind.
All right.
So
Judge
can you
Council
file no
is
driving?
approaching For
Please.
page 11,
Abigail,
Kane,
you
come
file
on
no
up.
driving
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
then without a license and
Vicente.
Hi, Herman.
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Hey, man.
Mr. Payne, if you want to read along when the prosecutor does, you can read right there. It says, Vicente Payne, Your Honor, page 11 per Victoria.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Payne.
Your Honor.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. It's elevated to Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March fifteenth at approximately 11:22 p.m., the officers were dispatched to a 911 call regarding a three-way motor vehicle crash at the intersection of Spencer Highway and 11th Street in Harris County, Texas. The defendant's motor vehicle was identified by his Texas license plate. The officer made contact with the defendant and observed slurred speech, red glassy eyes, a strong odor of alcoholic beverage and poor balance. During the investigation, it was apparent that the defendant's motor vehicle failed to yield the right of way for left turn, causing the defendant's vehicle to strike Unit 2, causing Unit 2 to strike Unit 3. All parties involved advised at the time of the collision, the defendant was operating his motor vehicle. The defendant advised that he consumed 3 tall boy Michelob Ultras at a residence prior to operating the motor vehicle. One open container was found cold to the touch and was located on the right outside of the defendant's motor vehicle's driver's side door, and that the defendant was advised that that was his 4th beer. SFSTs were conducted. It was a 6 out of 6 on the HGN, a 7 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and a 3 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The defendant was placed into custody and was transported to the police station. The DIC was read and sentenced to breath, which the results were a .234 and a .230.
Are you telling me that he had alcohol in the car and he's
Yes, Your Honor.
drinking while he's driving as well?
I cannot tell you whether he was drinking while he was driving, but alcohol was found in the
Where
vehicle.
was it?
It was found in the vehicle on the driver's side door.
Mr. Payne, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now not to drive any vehicle whatsoever for any reason. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, may I request, I understand why the court is concerned about this case. Can we just limit it so he can just drive for the certain hours of the day so he can support himself to do the necessary things in his home with the interlock device and or scram device as well? I mean, it's hard, as you know, in Houston, Texas, it's hard for someone to be able to live where we have without any public transportation or anything to get around. If we can just limit his driving just to the specific hours that the court allows.
How old are you, sir?
21.
He's 21. He has beer in the car and he's a .26.
2-3, I thought, but I mean, I'm not to quibble, but yes.
No,
But-
you are not.
Because the
to
bond conditions just
drive.
seem a bit egregious considering it's first off.
I understand, Herman, and I would recognize, or I would understand that it's elementary that you're not to have alcohol in the car while you're driving. And there's a 3-car collision. He's a .23 with alcohol in the car. No, I don't want you driving. And I'm telling you now, if I find that you do, there's going to be HE double hockey sticks to pay. Do you understand? You're also not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, you will be spending quite some time with me.
Will you reconsider the order or the condition, Judge?
I will always do. Yes. I want some time to pass
Sure.
and I want to see some proactivity, Herman, and I'm always all ears. But for the moment, I don't want him anywhere near a car.
Is his appearance waived as long as he's maintaining his conditions, Judge?
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. So you don't have to waste your time coming to court. But Mr. Payne, I want you to understand that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. If that means putting you in custody, I don't care. If you have Jesus here arguing on your behalf, I will protect my city at all costs. Do you understand? So, all right, I'll have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'm going to get you to Victoria Center reset. You'll get with Fleischer for your bond conditions, then you're free to go. Thanks, sir.
All right, Judge, next is page 1. Boudion, Douglas.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it's fine. You're right.
Is it Bodion? Good morning, Mr. Bodion. So you're charged with failure to stop and give information after striking a highway fixture. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 14th, 2025, at approximately 11 a.m., officers were dispatched to the 10,400 block of North Tree Hollow Circle in LaPorte, Texas, in Harris County, in reference to a minor accident where a vehicle struck a light pole. The officer was advised by dispatch that a witness observed the suspect leaving the scene and were provided a description of the vehicle. The officer began to check the area and observed that a vehicle that matched the description with wiring hanging out of the front of the vehicle and front end damage. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and observed several car parts including a front bumper in plain view. The defendant stated that he struck the light pole and left the scene because nobody else was involved. Centerpoint, the light pole company, stated that the cost to repair would be approximately $3,000.
Mr. Bodion, I'm gonna go find that there is sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. Can you run his license to see if he has a valid license, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance. Do you understand? Good. These are your bond conditions. If I find that you violate these conditions, if you pick up a new case, I will revoke your bond and put you in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, sir?
Yes.
Okay, we'll give you time to hire a lawyer. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it and then you'll be on your way. All right? Do not pick up any new cases. All right? Do you mind filing those no driving without insurance as well? A Texas driver license and insurance.
All right, next is page 2. Bookman, come on up.
Good morning.
And you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
On March 14th, 2025, at approximately 12:32 a.m., an officer observed the defendant outside of her vehicle twerking at a red light intersection. The defendant.
Twerking?
Yes, sure. The defendant then returned to her car and drove southbound down Montrose Boulevard. The officer observed the vehicle failed to signal a lane change multiple times. A traffic stop was initiated. Officer observed the defendant to have the mild odor of alcohol upon her breath, slurred speech, and glassy eyes. The officer asked the defendant to exit the vehicle, and the defendant stated she had 2 glasses of gin with champagne at a bar. SFSTs were conducted. 6 out of 6 clues were observed on the HGN, 3 out of 8 clues observed on the walk and turn, 2 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to a breath test at 1:18 a.m. Then at 2:20 a.m., she said she did not consent. A blood search warrant was signed and executed at 3:06 a.m.
All right. Any prior to be honest?
No prior, Judge.
License?
Eligible.
Ms. Bookman, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of illegal drugs, you will go to jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, we will give you time. So what I will have you do is I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. You'll get with Fleischer your bond conditions, and after that, you'll be free to
All right.
go.
Thank
When
you.
you come back, please have a lawyer.
Okay.
Please.
Just to update you real quick, I do have eyes on 8 different courtrooms at the moment. Pretty much everybody is in recess with the exception of Judge Fleischer here. And Judge Boyd is discussing beauty tips with another lawyer while somebody sits in the witness stand playing with their phone. So that makes no sense what's going on there. So we're going to stick with Judge Fleischer. He's the best show in town at the moment.
Good morning, Mr. Garcia. Your lawyer came by here yesterday. We did probable cause. I'm gonna now find probable cause. I mean, let's do it just for,
Okay.
so he can hear it, but you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
On March 15th, 2025, an officer was working at crash scene in Pasadena, Harris County, Texas. At approximately 1:15 a.m., the officer heard tires squeal and a vehicle collision a short distance away. The officer observed a vehicle had collided with a fully marked police vehicle with emergency lights activated. The officer observed the defendant, the driver, and sole occupant to appear confused and have glassy eyes. The defendant exited the vehicle and the officer observed red glassy eyes, slurred speech, uncoordinated and lethargic movement, and the odor of alcohol emitting from his person. The defendant admitted to drinking 2 beers. SFSTs were conducted. 6 out of 6 clues were observed on the HGN, 3 out of 8 clues on the walk and turn, 2 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to provide a breath specimen. The results were 0.134 and 0.123.
No prior DWS, right?
No prior DWS.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I am ordering you not to consume alcohol. Do you speak English, right? Okay, I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming, I will revoke your bond and put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? Do not pick up any new cases. You've got a great lawyer. Listen to him and he'll take care of you. I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with Mr. LeGrand and he'll tell you when you have to come. All right? So I'll have you go to Victoria Center reset. You'll get with Fleischer for your bond conditions and then you're free to go.
All right, Judge, page 5. Yeah, come on up.
Is it Gaston or Gaston? Mr. Gaston, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with evading arrest or detention and unlawful carrying of a weapon. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine on both of those cases. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
On March 14th, 2025, an officer observed a vehicle speeding on Gulf Freeway feeder by radar device going 72 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone. The officer then observed the vehicle turn left at a red light. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer instructed the driver to step out of the vehicle, and the officer began to detain the driver. As the officer was detaining the driver, the front passenger, the defendant, exited the vehicle. The officer instructed the defendant to return to the vehicle, and the defendant ignored the officer's instructions and started to walk away. The officer ordered the defendant to stop, and the defendant started running northbound. The officer observed the defendant place his left hand near the front of his waistband and throw a small black and blue object near a fence. The officer informed other officers of the defendant's location. Officers observed the defendant running eastbound on the 3,300th block of Scott Street and attempted to apprehend the defendant. The defendant was apprehended at the 3,100th block of Milby Street, approximately 0.2 miles away from the scene. The officers searched the area and located a firearm. The officer remained in visual contact with the location and no individuals approached that area.
What are they doing wrong? I mean, the officer just stops them and just arrests them? What for?
I'm not sure why the officer immediately detained him.
Really? Is that what we do now? We just stop and arrest? No, I'm gonna find no probable cause in your case. Just be careful, man. If you got a gun, God forbid you use it, something happens, you dig yourself in a hole. Come on, man. We got one life. Be smart. Go to school, get some knowledge, make a ton of money, you know? Take a seat, please. Thanks, bud.
What's the last name, Judge?
Gaston,
Okay.
on both, no PC.
All right, Judge, next is page 6.
Did they arrest the driver? I mean, did they charge him with anything? Do you know? Do we have him for anything?
No, there's no connected cases.
Just driving while black.
Your Honor, I would just, I'm gonna point something out here. It was a speeding stop where the passenger was getting out of the car. I would say the officer would have the right to at least make sure the passenger was in the car while he was conducting a stop. That's his.
Yes.
I don't even think that's an arrestable offense. You know? It's not an arrestable offense. They just literally pull him out, he's speeding and they arrest him. And then the co-defendant's doing nothing wrong. He just gets out of the car. He can just walk away. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. Who's this?
Page 6, Heyman.
Good morning, Ms. Hayman. You're charged with violation of a sexually oriented enterprise. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. All right.
On March 15th, 2025, the defendant was performing at the library a sexually oriented enterprise without a license to entertain displayed on her person in violation of ordinance section 28-256A. And that ordinance states that each manager or entertainer shall conspicuously display his or her personal card upon their person at all times while acting as an entertainer or manager
That's
of the
where I think-
enterprise.
Am I correct that you have to have a license, correct?
I believe that is the code, yes, Your Honor. Yes, you have to have a license. I will double check that though.
Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna appoint you a lawyer right now. And we'll dig deeper into this because I want to know if there's sufficient probable cause to go forward. We'll pull the statute. The problem is I got a whole crew of people that we need to get through. It's gonna take some time, so just be patient and we'll get to you.
Your Honor, I do have statute, but if you want to wait.
But let me get a defense lawyer just in case. Do you mind appointing our lawyer? Or if you don't be so kind, just take a seat, but do not leave, man, please. We'll come back.
All right, Judge, next is page 7. Jenkins, come on up.
The library, that's what it's called,
Yeah,
really?
Your Honor, I'm surviving.
Okay. The library? I want to go to the library. Oh, all right, Ms. Jenkins, you were charged with assault to a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
on March 15th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer was dispatched to a family dispute. The officer met with the defendant who stated that the complainant is her common law husband. The defendant stated that the defendant attacked her and physically pulled her out of a vehicle and slapped her twice. The officer then met with the complainant who stated that the defendant attacked him and by striking him multiple times in his face, bit him on his nipple and felt a sharp pain on the back of his neck. The officer observed the defendant to have a bite mark on his nipple and a scratch mark on the back of his neck. Officers then spoke with a witness who stated they observed the defendant attack the complainant and continue even after they intervened. Officers observed no injuries on the defendant.
Any priors against us?
No.
And do we know what he wants? Ms. Jenkins, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. There is a protective order that has been issued in this case. I would get to know it. If you do something to violate this protective order, the state can and will probably file a violation protective order against you. It's one of the worst cases you can pick up. I don't know if this person wants to have contact with you. So until I know, I'm going to order you not to have any contact with this person and not to be in possession of weapons.
So he would still like contact from what I can read here.
Is that from
He
a
said he
rip?
wants, it's from a rip.
When was it performed?
The rip was performed today at 9:14 a.m.
Okay, what?
He basically said that he wants to drop the charges.
I'm ordering you not to have any threatening or harassing contact against this person. You need to understand that what is threatening or harassing, it doesn't matter what you think, is what he perceives. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No.
Okay, I'll have you fill out an application. Deputy Miranda is going to give you an application. I'll take a look at it to see whether you qualify. I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. Do not leave until you sign. Okay?
Okay.
Please. Yeah. And then do you mind finding no threatening, harassing, and no weapons?
Next, Judge, is page 9. Otto, come on up.
What a terrible name, the library. I mean, what kids go, I want to go to the library. Kids are
Well,
terrible
they
name.
have somebody at the door checking IDs.
Yeah. Sheesh. What?
Page 9, Otto.
Good morning, Mr. Otto. Sir, you're charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 13th, 2025, at approximately 10:15 PM, an officer initiated a traffic stop at the 5804th block of Southwest Freeway on a black Alfa Romeo. The officer observed the motor vehicle weaving in and out of traffic at high speeds, endangering other motorists on the road, almost striking multiple motor vehicles. The officer had to increase to speeds up to 100 miles per hour to catch up to the motor vehicle and traveled about 6.1 miles. The defendant admitted to driving over 100 miles per hour in an attempt to catch up with another motor vehicle. A NCIC TCIC check revealed the motor vehicle had no valid insurance. The defendant was identified by his Illinois driver's license.
So can you run him to see if he does have a license? Please?
His Illinois driver's license is valid.
Mr. Otto, I am forwarding you as a condition of your bond not to drive maniacally again. If I find that you drive like this and put other lives in danger, I will revoke your bond and put you in jail. Do you understand?
Sir.
No reckless driving, racing, street takeovers, anything of this manner. If I find, first thing, I'm going to put you in jail. The next thing, I'm going to take your ability to drive away. Living in a city this big without the ability to drive blows. Do you understand?
Sir.
Do you mind filing this condition, please?
Yes, sir.
You're also not allowed to drive unless you have valid liability insurance in your name, car insurance. If you don't have car,
Those are running.
okay. I don't care if you're driving the Dodge Patas. If you don't have car insurance, you're not to drive. Do you understand?
Sure.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, sir?
Yes.
Did you want to apply for a court-appointed lawyer? Okay, we will give you time to hire a lawyer. I'm going to have you get a Victoria sign a reset. After that, I'll have you take a seat in the jury box. So we'll get your bond conditions. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions, and then we'll let you go hire a lawyer. Please.
Judge, can you sign bond conditions for Douglas Podium?
Yeah.
Patterson, come on up, age 10.
Just an update as we continue to ride with Judge Fleischer here. Again, the other courts this morning are very boring, to be honest with you. There's just not much going on out there, which is surprising for a Friday. So court hopping is suspended until further notice. We're just going to ride with Judge Fleischer until something more intriguing comes along.
Remember, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to, have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On March 14th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer met with the complainant who stated that the defendant is his stepfather. The complainant stated the defendant was not happy with the yard work the complainant had done and punched him in the face several times. The officer observed the defendant to have a bloody nose, swollen lip, and bruising. The defendant admitted to punching the complainant in the face due to the complainant throwing a bottle of water at him. So the defendant stated that he punched the complainant in the face because the complainant threw a bottle of water at him. Complainant said he punched him in the face because he was unhappy with the yard work he did.
Do we know whether they want to have continued contact or no?
We have not been able to get into contact with the complainant yet, Judge.
So, Mr. Patterson, there is sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you not to have any contact with this person, not to be in possession of weapons. These are your bond conditions. If you violate these conditions, well, first of all, you have a protective order. If you violate the protective order, they can file additional cases against you. A violation of protective order, it's one of the worst cases you can pick up. And in our assault, if you violate those conditions, I will revoke this bond. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So no contact, no weapons. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No, sir.
I'll have you fill out an application. I'll look to see whether you qualify. I need to know everything about you, how much money you have in the bank, what kind of, everything about you, and then I'll take a look to see if you qualify. Deputy Miranda, do you mind giving me an application, please? I'll have you sign a receipt. Victoria, we'll have you take a seat. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right.
Great, Judge, next.
You might
is
find no
page
contact in
13, Saldana, come on up.
Looks like the amended to
Allow, okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm following this one. I came in with the violation of the.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the ordinance because I'm giving you.
Thank you. Please. Get you going. Hey. Hey, Vic. On Heyman, cancel the lawyer. They're gonna nominate it. Deputy, get you going. On Miss Heyman, can you tell her that her case has been dismissed and she's free to go? Miss Heyman, if she wants to wait for dismissal, she can have to wait a bit, but it's being dismissed.
This is page 13,
Okay.
Saldana.
Good morning, Mr. Saldana.
Morning, Your Honor.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 15th, 2025, at 4:05 a.m., an officer observed the defendant operating a vehicle with an obstructed windshield. The defendant's vehicle was observed to have front end damage that included a hood that was damaged and open with the bumper in the engine compartment. A traffic stop was initiated. The defendant had slurred speech, glassy red eyes, and a strong odor of alcohol on his breath. SFSTs were conducted. 6 out of 6 clues observed on the HGN, 2 out of 4 clues observed on the one-leg stand, 4 out of 8 clues observed on the walk and turn. The defendant consented to a breath test. The results were 0.144 and 0.129.
Douglas Bouillon?
What's the stop for?
Um,
Because he's got a beat up car. Right?
yes, so it states that he had an obstructed windshield due to the damage to his vehicle.
Conclusory statement though.
Yes,
How?
Judge, because the front end damage, the driver of the vehicle would not be able to see out of license plate, out of the front windshield, and it was considered a safety hazard.
Does it say how? I mean, how? Like,
What the damage was or
what's
how.
the, how is the obstruction?
The states that the hood was damaged, the front hood was damaged and open. bumper-
To where it's facing, to where it blocks his, I guess, field of vision?
It states that the windshield was obstructed, so. It's right.
Hmm. I guess I'll find probable cause for now, and then we'll talk to defense lawyer, and if they can show me something differently, I guess I'll revisit it. Mr. Saldana, I'm gonna find probable cause for now. I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm gonna test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or drugs, it's not gonna go well for you. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any prior DWIs, and does he have a license?
He does have an eligible driver's license, Your Honor, and no prior DWIs.
Okay. You are also not allowed to drive unless you have car insurance in your name. You must maintain liability insurance. That is also a bond condition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll have you get your bond conditions with Fleischer, and then after that, you'll be free to go. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please. Oh, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor. I have a lawyer with the Texas Defense Criminal Group, I believe is their name.
You have a lawyer?
No, where's it at? Oh, Gibbons. Saldana. Oh, yes, Gibbons is attached. He didn't print out on the docket.
Oh,
So we can.
okay, so let's do this. Let's wait for your lawyer. Is your lawyer going to come here? Do you know?
They haven't, I texted them this morning and they haven't responded.
Okay, so let's do this. I'll have you sign and get all the paperwork ready. I'll have you wait a little bit to see if they show up, and then because we need to get a good date So I'll have you sit, just wait a bit to see if they come. If they don't, then we'll reach out to them. Okay?
Thank you.
Please, for sure.
All right, Judge, page 13, Selena, come on up.
Good morning, Mr. Salinas. Sir, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
I apologize, Judge, my internet is.
That's okay.
An investigator called the number listed in the city of Houston for McCall Gill, who stated that he had not worked for premium care in 3 or 4 years. The investigator found the defendant to be Craig McPherson. Officer conducted a search on Craig McPherson, was not able to locate EMS.
Is this the right office?
Sorry,
report?
yes, I think I apologize, Judge. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know if you.
Here, I'll just. Just the, and I think it might be out of order. Oh, yeah, that's the plan I did. Okay.
Is it crotch or something?
Sorry. No, Your Honor, just our notes are all backwards, so that's on me. I'm sorry. On. There it is. On May 23rd, 2023, the complainant made a report that his scooter was stolen and it was worth approximately $600. The complainant provided the serial number. On August 5th, 2024, the officer received a hit from Leads Online, which noted that the defendant pawned the scooter. The officer went to that Easy Pawn location at 12303 Bel Air and met with the complainant, who stated that the defendant pawned the scooter for $100. The complainant was able to provide the officer with the defendant's driver's license, and surveillance video showed that the identity of the defendant matched the video.
Yeah,
The
but
driver's
you know that
license.
he took the scooter from the place, from wherever it was, how do we know that someone didn't give it to him? I get it that he's pawned, I mean, perhaps, possession of stolen property, but theft.
So the allegation is the complainant is not the owner of the scooter, it's a pawn shop. So the allegation here is that the defendant,
Well, he's charged with theft, right? So he has to steal it.
by acquiring or accessory. Well,
Like you have to acquire.
yes, Your Honor. I'm reading the-
Here, all he's doing is he's pawning it.
Ramsey?
It's a specific intent crime, so we have to,
The intent to deprive the pawn shop. So I think
well, the pawn shop is not it's the person who owned the scooter, which would be Mr. Elatari. That is the actual complainant because it's his scooter that gets stolen, but we just don't know who steals it. We know that he pawns it, right? And we get these so much and it just, the problem is that the legwork would be somehow, okay, we get it, go back to the complaining witness and then somehow see if is there a ring video that sees him stealing it, then, so, right. It is what it is. Mr. Salinas, I'm going to find no probable cause in your case. Please be careful. We're not asking for much. All we want our streets to be safe. You know what I mean? All right, please.
All right, Judge, next, page 14, Sanchez, come on up.
sorry. No, does that make sense? Yes, yeah. And also
Good morning, Mr. Sanchez. Sir, you were charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
Judges, Zach Funches. On March 14th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to a disturbance. Upon arrival, the officers observed the defendant attempting to force entry into the residence. The officer met with the complainant, who stated that the defendant is his boyfriend of 6 years. The complainant stated that the defendant arrived intoxicated and became angry after she told him that he was intoxicated. The defendant then forced his way into the bedroom, grabbed the complainant by the hair and pinned her to the bed while he scratched her under the eye, causing pain. The officer observed a visible scratch.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I am now ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? I am also ordering you not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case and not to be in possession of any weapons. There's a protective order that has been issued in this case. I would get to know it. If you violate this protective order, the state can and will file a violation protective order against you. It's one of the worst cases you can pick up. Do you understand?
Sir?
Okay, Mr. Sanchez, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, we will give you time. I will have you sign a receipt with Victoria. We will have you take a seat in the jury box while I get your bond conditions. I'll have you sign it, and after that, you'll be free to go. Please.
Judge, these are for
No
me.
contact, no weapons, please. Oh, no, don't worry about it. You're right. Yeah, because he's being monitored. Yeah, sorry. So no alcohol, drugs, randoms,
No contact.
no contact, no weapons. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, Judge, next is page 15. Staff and co-defendant.
Uloa. Stapp and Uloa, up, please.
While we wait for them to come up, I just wanted to give a quick thank you to everybody out there. During this live stream, we just passed 13,500 subscribers, and we only started this channel 5 months ago. The growth and the interaction's been incredible, and I just wanted you to know that it's appreciated. We've got a really vibrant community, especially in the comments, and appreciate all of you, so thank you.
You are charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
On February 25th, 2025, at approximately 12:57, officers arrived to a Target store at 2580 Stern Street in Harris County, Texas, for a theft in progress. The complainant stated that the defendants passed all points of sale without paying for the merchandise. The officer viewed security footage and saw that the footage of the defendant and the co-defendant passed all points of sale without paying for items that were selected and placed in either the shopping cart or inside the defendant's purse. The total amount stolen was $546.45.
Were they together? They both stole
Yes,
the
Your
whole
Honor,
thing?
they were both together and they both had.
Okay. All right, ladies, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering both of you not to go to any Target for any reason. Do you understand? If you violate these conditions, if I find that you pick up a new case, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you guys have the ability to hire a lawyer? Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? Would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer? I'm going to have you both fill out applications. We'll see whether you qualify. And I need to know everything about you, okay? How old are you, man? How old are you, man? Okay. Deputy Miranda, do you mind giving the applications? We're going to have you, I'm going to have bond conditions created for you to sign. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions. Otherwise, I will issue a warrant, okay? All right, please.
You know, I just got to say, because I see this a lot, I don't understand why people try to steal from Target. Don't try to steal from Target. I worked there when I was in college for a couple of years, and that was over 30 years ago. But at that time, their security system rivaled Fort Knox. They had cameras everywhere. They had people everywhere, and it's only gotten better. So stop it.
You are Miguel Torres. Sir. Mr. Torres, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 15th, 2025 at 3:34 a.m., officers made a traffic stop and asked for a second officer to make scene as well. The officer observed a silver Chevrolet Malibu with no headlights on. The officer approached the driver's side and observed the defendant to be behind the wheel.
Hold on a second. Ladies, move away from each other, please. Miss Uloa. Okay.
The officer approached the driver's side and observed the defendant to be behind the wheel and operating the vehicle. The officer observed glassy eyes and odor of an alcoholic beverage. The second officer, a DRE, observed a mild odor of an alcoholic beverage, bloodshot eyes, and unsteady balance. The defendant stated that he was coming from the library and drank 2 beers. 18.
The library?
From the library. I don't know your
Sure. Popular
and then-
library, I tell you.
He drank 2 beers 18 to 24 hours ago. SMSTs were conducted. It was a 6 out of 6 on the HDN, a 4 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and a 3 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The defendant was arrested and declined to provide a sample, so a blood warrant was signed.
I forgot what the stop was. What was the stop for?
No headlights at night.
Mr. Torres, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Can you run him to see if he has any prior WIs and if he has a driver's license?
Any priority WIs, his license is ineligible.
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 You are not allowed to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life, and I don't care what you got to do. I don't care if there's a burning building and you have to save 50 kittens. If you do not have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you are not allowed to drive. Do you understand? Sir, you will be signing an affidavit with me today. This is a promise that you're going to make to me that you're not to drive. There's no justification that you can give for getting into a car and driving. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Hire a lawyer. Yes, sir. Okay, we are going to give you time. I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I will get you to Victoria. We will have you sign a reset. After that, you will get with Fleischer for your bond condition. And after that, you're free to go. Be careful and protect my community, because if I find that you're a danger to it, it's not going to go well for you. You understand? Okay, come on.
Judge, that was the last one for now.
I know why you're here.
Almost for that
It's been a
same
week.
exact jacket, Judge.
Nice. How are you?
Good.
It's good to see you, Greg.
Why am I here, Judge?
I know why you're here. It's been a week and I'm not ready yet. I'm telling you, it's been a week. I know.
You can't hear my spiel.
I will. You know what? You're right. Please.
All I would say is, unlike those others that you said today, there was no
allegation of speeding accident. It was an expired registration. She took your stern admonishment very seriously. She hasn't even attempted to operate any wheeled vehicle since then.
I would hope not.
Yeah, but she's not even riding her bike.
Well, I don't think you can ride a bike.
Do you have a timeline?
No, but I want to see some proactivity at the very minimum.
If I
I
bring you
want to know that you really appreciate it, you know. It's never forever. I'm not that obtuse, you know, but I want to know that you truly appreciate it and you really see that, hey, I mean, I now understand that this is really, you know.
But you can see from the defense side.
Yes, and that's why I say it's not absolute.
I know, I'm saying from the vagueness of that. It's hard to advise my client and people to make driving arrangements and all those things. I do think she's taking it very seriously. It's an expired registration, unknown VAC. So I have her take victim impact panel.
Hey.
Write a letter.
Like something like
I'm gonna have her write a letter.
driving wise,
This is just,
you know, like, I don't know, just, you know,
is it the task or the time?
both. But I'm telling you, it's not absolute, but I want a little bit to pass.
But
It's
can we
been a
have
week.
less time than, say, the guy who had an accident? Or
Yeah,
that I think the allegation was a solo cut that we're still looking at waiting to get discovery, whatever.
okay.
I don't want to waste your time or mine of reapproaching you every week.
A couple weeks, show me that she like truly appreciates it and then we'll talk.
Does she need to be here? So I'll put her
So I want to admonish her.
off docket, and you want to put her on docket.
No, put on.
So I'll wait and I'll just call and put her on docket.
Okay.
And then we'll readdress it.
Yeah.
All right, Judge, always good to see you.
Greg, take care.
Time goes by, instructions, who contacts the trust services about it.
Hi. Good morning. Yes, Maria.
Good morning, Judge.
Hi.
I'm approaching on Manuel Kuch. And I
Yes.
got assigned to him yesterday, Judge, and he's in felony court this morning.
Okay. I guess what we'll do is let's roll it to Monday and then we can talk Monday. He picked up a lot of very bad cases.
Yes,
He's on bond for one of our cases here and ixnay on the bond, you know, but I want to do it when he's here. And he's obviously not here because he's in felony court now. So let's roll it to Monday and then we can address it then.
Yes, sir, on Monday. And then also I am assigned to Neil White, and he's in processing this morning. He's got a bond violation report filed against him, and he's set for bond forfeiture, but he is in custody.
You have him here today?
Not this morning. Monday also?
He's supposed, guys, we didn't get White. He's in felony court today? Got it. Okay, so let's do Monday as well.
Monday,
Yeah.
yes, Judge. Thank you.
Thanks.
Is that for Lodone and White?
No, White. The other one was Cooch.
Oh, okay.
Counsel, come on up. Good morning. Hi, good morning.
On Juan Guzman,
In custody or on bond?
he is in custody. So just to update you, Judge, he had a felony. Yesterday, he pled guilty on the felony, time served, and they dismissed the underlying same transaction misdemeanor he had in this court. So the last charge standing is now his motion to adjudicate the DWI.
Okay, wonderful. So did we have him TRASed?
I'm sorry. What was it called?
Guzman,
Yes, it recommended SATF.
that's it.
SATF?
Yeah.
So he is wanting to know whether he can have, if I approach no time served.
He has a drug problem.
Oh,
A true drug problem. Every time we let him out, he takes off and he picks up new cases. I mean, it's over and over. So
I agree. This is
he
just
needs
what my
treatment.
client.
And I know, and I'm no.
No,
And I've told him this. I've told him this multiple times that when you come back, we're gonna wait out the felony. As soon as that's done, into treatment you go.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is we'll amend conditions. If he refuses to sign, that's okay. We will have a hearing. And if they prove to me that he violated, then I'm gonna order it regardless.
Okay.
Okay? Thanks. You ready? Hi, good morning.
We're approaching on Carlos Ramos.
Just to catch you up, Judge, this is one where it's an MAJ, he's out of deferred for attempted auto theft.
Oh, this, okay.
Takes up like all these felonies. So I haven't officially heard back from felony. I know what they're gonna tell me. They're gonna tell me, don't go on with this MAJ misdemeanor because we get the felony thing at once. There's no technicals or anything. We're trying to figure out the best way to handle it. My guess, it's obviously up to the court today. I can't go on a hearing on it because that would require me to go on felony evidence. They can't take it.
Are there technicals though, or no?
No, Your Honor.
We looked at the co-defendants, and there was, Lori and I sat down, every co-defendant, new cases.
I didn't pick up.
Nothing. I didn't.
What do you want to do?
Your Honor, I'm agreeing with the prosecutor.
Set it for the day after felony?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, he's not getting out on the felonies, it looks like, so we could keep rolling it to see what happens with the felonies. It's just, if it does get set for a hearing, I want to be but we can keep rolling it to see what
Okay.
happens with the felonies.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's set up for, right now, they're set up there the 27th. 28th is a Friday.
How's Monday?
Monday, I was thinking about Monday.
We're on the
Okay,
same
do that.
page.
Too, I can also talk, I want to see what where, I haven't heard back from the evidence, see like where these cases are going.
I mean, there's really no rush.
Yeah.
Because he's being held at no bond on those 4 cases regardless. So if you want to carry it for maybe a couple settings to see if they have anything.
And if anything, he does get a bond, I would just approach on the bond amount on this one.
Okay, got it. I mean, it's going to be a while for that regardless, at least, a couple months then. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
All right, let me send it. Yeah, I'll send it now. Mr. Ponzi, you ready?
Yes. I was here on Mr. Proctor. He hasn't made an appearance yet. I haven't seen him. He is not responding.
So I'll give it until the end of docket, but if not, then.
Okay, thank you.
Cesar Garcia.
Are you here just for that, James? Pons, are you here just for that?
Yeah, no, I'm across the hall for.
I was gonna say, don't wait, just go,
Yeah.
and then if shows up, then I'll call you, so you don't have to just sit here and wait.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'll let you know. I know if he shows up, I'll zoom in.
Okay, sure.
So,
Persons convicted of convictions of illegal drugs or alcohol or
I'll see you.
Hey. Blaze, on Hammond, do you want me to find no PC on it? Because I have to do a PC form. You want me to put in a PC?
That, and I was, yes.
Yeah,
If you don't mind, Can I'll ask, hey Trey, can we take back that dismissal now I post players at PC? Which one? On Heman. I have those in the file, it's just that.
Okay, let me see, maybe I can get into activities. Is it no activities?
I can refile it, Judge.
Yeah, I found it. I got it. Here, I'll unsign it now. I'm just gonna delete this one and then you will file it.
Perfect, and I'll file a new one now, Judge.
What?
Your name,
Thank you.
You saw something. I didn't. Sorry. It was kind of struggle.
Yeah, it's, you got $500. Yeah, they don't. But you don't do that.
So hang tight with me a minute. Again, there's not a whole lot going on out there in the court world this morning, but I just watched the end of Judge Simpson's landlord-tenant docket, and he actually looks like banned somebody from ever being in his courtroom again. So I'm going to rewind that and get that queued up. But in the meantime, let's just stick with Judge Fleischer.
On the center.
Sorry. Yeah.
And it's something that on one but everything that I know. Which was there. And parents.
You, I'll put that on this list.
Okay. Saldana? Is it that? Is it you get a speech over and over? Go right and sit over.
Hey.
Okay, I've got this Judge Simpson interaction queued up. I only caught the end of it where he banned the person, so let's see what leads up to this real quick, because we'll find out together.
Same.
Thank you.
Carla Green versus Dustin Mickles and Antoinette Mickles.
Your Honor, this is Darnisha Green, co-owner, and Carla's my wife. She's with her students. She's back with her students now.
Okay, well. Your name is not on here as plaintiff. So.
Can you hear me? I'm on here. I just gotta do what I gotta do.
Oh, okay, Ms. Green, you are on. Okay, all right,
I'm
very
on
good.
I'm on here. She was just speaking on my behalf because I'm on the way with my students. I work with students with disabilities. And I've been on here for like an hour, but I didn't know it goes like this.
Okay. All right. This is a termination case. And what's your reason for terminating? Is it a month-to-month lease?
Yes, it's been a month-to-month lease since last February.
Pardon?
It's been a month-to-month lease since last February 24.
Okay, and I see the 30-day notice. And sir, what's your position on being on the termination?
I've been trying to find a place because like our lease, like she said, our lease has been up since, well, it says on the paper since 2/28/25. That's when the lease expired, but it expired last year, that day. But I've been looking for housing and stuff like that. But I came into this house out of a program through the Alpha House, which is through Hawk. And I was given Section 8, and then they took my housing voucher from me. And so like I've been trying to find somewhere else, but I have a big family. And so I've applied for 23 different places and I've been denied. And
when you say somebody took your housing voucher, who took your housing voucher?
I think it would be RPI.
Okay.
And with my family, sorry.
When did that happen?
It happened in November. And then the program agreed to continue paying the rent. While I looked for a place, and I tried to explain to them I can look, but since my family is so big, I have to have a certain size. And
gotcha.
I haven't found anything, sir. And the ones that I have found, I went to private landlords on Facebook, and a lot of those people are scamming.
Well, but I'm just trying to understand this. Right now, if you try to move, you don't have a voucher.
No, they took it from me, sir.
Okay,
Because,
no, I heard you. Just listen to my questions. I'm just trying to sort it out.
Okay.
And so the landlord in this case, Ms. Green, they haven't been getting anything paid they haven't been getting anything. Is that?
No.
When you say no, am I correct in what I said or?
Correct.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. So let me ask you this. If his voucher, because I don't understand why they removed your voucher. And I'm not going to be able to sort that through today. I'm just trying to figure out, are you terminating because he doesn't have the voucher any longer and you're looking at the picture there? If he had the voucher, might this tenancy continue?
At this time, I'm just done with the whole rent thing. I don't want to go through these court procedures and all that. They didn't get the voucher.
You don't like coming to see me?
Absolutely not. I'm not a court chick.
Whoa. I'm now okay, Ms. Green. Now I'm hurt.
It's nothing towards you, but I'm just not. But
I got
the family really they took care of my property and everything. It's just like the system failed them, and I feel bad about it. But like I don't want to go through this whole process.
You mean in terms of the voucher being taken and?
No, they was in the shelter program from the beginning.
Okay.
And the lady, their worker, didn't ever follow through on anything. And so when she was the person that's supposed to help them get the voucher and help them. She failed them. I told this young man, it seems like he could do something legally with that, because how do you end up in a shelter and still end up homeless?
Yeah, no, I hear you. And that's why I was asking the question I was asking
Yeah,
because of something that Mr. Mickles said. Because it
yeah.
sounds like as long as the voucher was there, things were okay. But something happened with this voucher and the worker. And that, Mr. Mickles, how many people do you have in your household?
9.
Oh, boy. Okay.
One of which is a 3-month-old baby.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. Have you talked to legal services at all?
No, sir. I tried to do some research about it, but I really haven't had much time because, like, we have been packing the house up, and like I work midnights, and my kids.
All
have
right. Listen.
I
Listen.
haven't been able to.
Write this number. Write this number down.
One moment, sir.
Your Honor,
Yes.
this is Darnisha Green, the co-owner. What my wife is not sharing with you is that we haven't received payment. And like I tried, we feel for the Michaels family, but we can't afford both homesteads either. We have 5 people in college.
Okay. Was anybody listening to what I just said?
Yeah, you said contact.
Here's what I'm indicating. I don't know if the reason I was asking is could the tenancy continue if the voucher was there? I get the fact that there wasn't any payment. I understand that because the voucher got taken.
Oh.
My only question is why was it taken?
Regardless to the fact we want possession of our property.
All right, you need to put your name on the case because I'm just.
Well, Carla,
Okay.
you
I got
need
a family.
because I'm the one
No,
paying the
ma'am,
bills.
ma'am.
Okay.
My court. This is the way it works.
I
Okay,
understand, but
let
I'm
you
going in
talk,
default. I'm going into default on my bills. This is a
Okay.
ripple effect.
Okay, Your Honor.
Ma'am, I'm
I
gonna kick you
understand.
out. I'm gonna kick you out of my proceeding.
Bye.
She
Kick
finna
her.
log off.
Bye. Kick her out. She's gone.
She finna log off. I apologize. I apologize for that, Judge. I apologize, but
You let her know she does not address me that way ever.
Okay, I apologize. She just upset. She's putting her daughter to
She can be as upset as she wants. I'm just going to ask the questions that I've asked. I've got somebody with 9 people in this household.
Okay, but
I've
I
got
can't
you
take
not
care of
getting
my
paid.
family. Right.
And I get it. March 28th, I'm going to adjourn it out 1 week, let them contact legal services. Because here's what it is, Ms. Green, and what the problem's going to be. If he's got 9 in the household, I mean, it's going to be a bad situation all around, or can be, because I don't know a place that's going to be able to take 9. And so he's going to have a voucher to get himself out. And so I want to give a chance for him to try to talk. I want to give a chance to have him talk to a lawyer to see why they terminated the voucher. All right. And then sort of work from there. Okay. Did I give him the number?
No. But what I'm trying to tell you, Judge Simpson, whether he get the voucher or not, I want my property.
No, I got you. But if that happens, it's going to be he can potentially move, but I got to give him the opportunity to look at why the voucher was taken.
Okay.
All right. Sir, here's the phone number.
Okay.
All right. Area code 734 665 6181.
6181.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And so give that number a call. Let them know that you had a voucher, that you no longer have it.
Okay.
And that you're unsure as to why. And then let them know that your current landlord is terminating your tenancy, but that you've got this large family and you're trying to move it.
Okay.
Okay, and let's see where that gets us. So I'm gonna set this for March 28, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, so folks, you need to be here.
Okay,
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right?
thank you. Your Honor.
Thank you. And the other woman will not be allowed in my courtroom ever again, either in person or via Zoom. It will only be Carla Green that will be permitted. All right? So you can let her know that too, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we know what that was all about. My personal thoughts on that, if the Greens are running it so tight that if there's missed rent in their rental, they can't make their own home work, then honestly, they have no business having a rental property. That's just my opinion. Reasonable minds can disagree, but they need to sell that house. And, you know, you can sell it with the tenant in there. The lease would just transfer over to the new owner. There has to be a way out. They need to get out of that. And as far as the guy with 9 children, he's in a pickle as well, or 9 family members, however many it is. But yeah, I don't blame Judge for throwing her out. You know, you don't address the judge that way. You certainly don't talk over him, and your name's not even on the case. So that makes no sense whatsoever. Again, not a lot going on, and it looks like it is a little quiet in the moment in Judge Fleischer's court, but we're going to go back there because it's quiet everywhere, and sooner or later somebody will show up. So let's go back there.
But I saw this kid. I think he's an educator. I don't think it's getting that. I think this is just coming by. So
I missed it on the Guzman one. Was it going to dismiss the MOJ or?
They did.
Oh, they did?
Okay, yeah, and I just signed it.
Okay.
Well, it's quiet. Everybody can say hi to my co-host, Ellie. Ellie is just under a year old, and she was a rescue that we got from some people. And she's the one who hates it when Judge Fleischer talks about 50 burning kittens in a building that people can't go save because they don't have a driver's license. Yeah, no good. See, I told you she didn't like it. All right, let's get back to Judge.
And I think on the Rakita one, that one was just, what did it change? Oh, I think it was to have contact, just not threatening.
Okay.
On the Rakita one, because they did a writ already.
Thank you. I haven't read it.
The state said they did a writ. So the defendant wanted to drop the charges.
Victoria, on Miss Jenkins, who got that case?
Colin? Right there.
Okay. What? Hey, what is so I have the order, come on. So I'm looking at the order for protection now. Who is the complaining witness? What's the relation? It's boyfriend, right?
Yeah, 3 kids together.
Stop. No.
I'm looking now, we do not,
It's the guy, right?
it's the guy, and I don't have anything when I click on his name, and then when we tried to make contact with him, he got quite irate and said he didn't want to comply.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because in these order for protections, there is a residential restriction that prohibits you from going back to residence of where this person lives or where this person works. So that's why I was deciding whether to keep this on or take it off. The problem is that I don't want you guys to get in another situation where you're going to end up back in custody with a new case because you guys keep butting heads. So you need to be very careful. If you got a bunch of kids with this person and you guys are constantly butting heads, you're the one that's going to end up in jail with a new case if you guys start going at it again. You understand?
Yes.
So you need to be very, very careful, especially if you have a temper. If you, look, 99% of the people that are in jail now are there because they have no self-control. They wig out and they do whatever they want to do without thinking, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? And sometimes you have but a second to reflect. Use self-control, especially if you have kids, because if your kids see this violence, what do you think they're going to do? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. If you are like this and the kids see this, they'll be like, just like you. I'm going to take the residential restriction off. The only thing I'm counseling you is be careful, especially if you guys butt heads a lot. All right?
Okay.
You've got a great lawyer here. He will take care of you. Just listen to him if there's ever any issues. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. So they're going to file no contact, no weapons. I think that, let me see if we already have it. We do. So we'll have you sign the conditions now, and then after that, you're free to go. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
First. Hi, Shreya.
Hey Judge, how are you?
How's it going?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Just for those somebody.
Did y'all chat about it?
Yes. We just wrote somebody. It's the first time the officer made a someone of those meetings within 6 months.
Did you dismiss all of the pool cases?
Yeah, sure, and that was all subject to refile.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I think we put a bunch of monitors on them too.
Yeah, Judge, and
I'll have to get those
this
off.
was coming from felony, so.
Yeah.
Is he doing a deferred upstairs?
PTI, and if the deal is felony, so if he messes up PTI, that's why it's subject to refile on all those, they're gonna refile them as they, it's kind of a carrot stick.
Oh. It's just, he's too nice. Yes. His staff works for him. But I asked the officer myself, you see something that I'm like, I'm never kind of like 30 and said, one time, and it was like, church once again, my lectures, you know, that was, you were still doing too much facts. And then to drug your assist like, Mr. So-and-so, you know, I thought I extremely hard to go. So, if you're not playing around today. I don't even want to know what he's got in it to, so he can.
Hi, Abel.
Judge, good morning.
Happy Friday.
Isn't it?
Yes. What's the word? Oh, you got a couple? Okay.
Did you get what he
No. Eric, no, you do it right.
I see. Okay. Well, Judge, it seems we're getting all the clientele from the library. Huh? He is here every day.
Just to update you while things are quiet in Judge Fleischer's court, I would cut us over to other action, except there really isn't any. There is an incredibly boring hearing going on in Judge Elmore's court in Wexford County, Michigan. Several other judges are in recess. Judge Simpson finished up his landlord-tenant docket, so there's nothing going on there. It's empty this morning, more so than I normally see on a Friday, which is really weird. So we're just going to continue to ride with Judge Fleischer for a little bit, see if anybody shows up. If people show up, we'll go long. We generally end at about the 2-hour mark, so we've got about 10 minutes to go. But we'll stay with them, and if things start to pop off there, then we'll go long. But yeah, it's a weird morning. Yesterday was weird too, though, because it was like super busy, especially early on. I went live like 15 minutes early yesterday because it was so busy. I don't know. Weird.
Okay, try. Hi, Eric. What's going on?
Mr. Franklin on the back.
Oh, Ladon.
Yes.
You pick up a new case?
He did. He picks up an ag assault with deadly weapon upstairs.
Hey, Deputy, you going? Mind bringing him out? Please.
Carried a couple days this week because not getting brought up.
Ladon, please. Ladon, right?
Yes. I spoke with the state a couple times this week.
Why do I not see it on document?
He got rolled from yesterday. I don't know.
Oh, it's Franklin's the last name, maybe.
Yes, I'm sorry. Franklin is last.
I've got it.
He has a terroristic threat here and he picked up a substantial felony upstairs. And I think his bond is at 40,000 upstairs, which I know he can't possibly make, so. He's adamant he didn't do anything. This is Mr. Ladon. No, Mr. Franklin. I'm sorry, sir.
After all that we've gone through.
This
case. Gone through, trying the this, the that. And now you've picked up an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? Don't talk about the case, Mr. Franklin.
He's a prosecutor.
The only thing is, I cannot express my disappointment. I really thought that you and I were like reaching together.
We are. We were, and we really are. My family's working against me. They trying to take my SSI check and stuff. I haven't done anything. This is my 35th year. I haven't done nothing.
So look, I don't even know what happened. I want to know. So he picked up an agasol with them. What happened? Please. Please, just don't say anything, please. I just want to know what happened or why they're saying what happened. Okay.
On March 17th, 2025, at approximately 5:48 PM, officers were dispatched with an aggravated assault call at a residence in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officers met with the complainant, who stated they are a resident in a group home. The complainant stated that the defendant is a person they have known for 3 weeks. The complainant stated the defendant arrived at the group home around 5:38 PM and knocked on the front door multiple times, cussing at another resident due to them not opening up the front door fast enough. The complainant stated the defendant continued yelling, cursing, and talking down to the resident. So the complainant tried to talk the defendant down. The defendant stated to the complainant that he was going to fuck him up, then went to his bedroom. The defendant took a hold of a fork which the complainant believed was a knife and pointed it at the complainant. The complainant asked if he was going to get stabbed, and the defendant charged at the complainant. The complainant stated they feared for serious bodily injury or death. The complainant ran and locked themselves in their motor vehicle and called the police. While waiting for the police in the vehicle, the defendant was still threatening to kill the complainant and was kicking the vehicle.
Wow. I just came from Food Town and I went back home to eat. I was at the door, I knocked.
Stop. Just the problem is that there are some people in this life, Shaisa is always happening to them for some reason. Always. This, that, this. It's always happening. It's always happening. Don't matter where you go. I'm always stepping in, you know?
I'm not a violent person.
Your history says.
No, I'm not a violent person. I'm an SSI patient. I've been dealing with this stuff all my life. Soon as they get my name,
the only thing
to use my social.
The only thing I'm going to say is that, you know, it's time to do some deep reflection. You know, it really is time, because the thing is that I don't want you to end up with a 40-year sentence, man, because of the no self-control. I really thought we had something. I'm just so disappointed, man.
I don't know. Well, I'm the one that's been did wrong. I don't care no more.
So look, I got to revoke your bond, man. So
I don't know why.
Because you picked up a felony.
I'm doing everything I can do. It's people out there doing hate cases, hate crimes, all towards people like me. All I'm trying to do is just get my home back. They took it from me. Everything. This stuff is happening against me. I'm not assaulting people. Never assault people.
you know, the problem is that while this case is open, we can't do anything in here anyways. You know, what I'd like to do is, you know, have you evaluated to see how we go forward, because I just don't know.
A lot of this stuff was false. All of this stuff is false, so it's me.
We're gonna have to wait for it to play out. I hope, Mr. Franklin, but I don't know. Well, I gotta wait to see the evidence and see what
Well,
happens.
you can't just send me to a psych ward unit or something while all of this is going on.
First, I have to have you evaluated, but I can't do that until the felonies are
This is
worked
not
out.
making no sense. This is my 35th year. And I have to keep dealing with this stuff.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna revoke it. I'll set it at 5,001. All right, Mr. Franklin, I just don't want you to have any weapons, and just don't pick up any new cases, man.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't generally like to end the live on a somber note, but there's not much going on, so I think it's a good time to call it a Friday. Hopefully this guy gets some help. Clearly he's got a lot going on and needs to figure out how to get his life in a better place, and we hope he does. Thanks everybody for joining us today. We do appreciate you. During the live stream, we crossed 13,500 subscribers. We certainly appreciate that. Ellie appreciates that too, so thank you. Again, we've only been around 5 months and we've got just a vibrant community and we're very thankful for that, so we appreciate it. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. Do you want to say goodbye to them? We'll leave it at that. Take care. God bless.